So a truck pulls up. Tayshia and Bristow say they love a guy in a truck.
Ugh.
I hope the black community is disappointed in Tayshia. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new season of Another Bachelor Podcast. My name is Dylan, saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Pat, producer podcast over there, looking pretty grumpy behind my glasses.
No, I'm a professional, Dylan, and I'm happy to be back to this audience that it's tens and thousands of you, obviously. People
we
don't
could fill
pay.
Azteca Stadium, socially distanced.
Right,
Yep.
right. That a bunch of people. We're back for all the free cheapos.
Yeah. We said we weren't going to hammer people with Patreon right at the show, but I feel like you're...
I'm not hammering anybody.
Okay, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/anotherpodcastnetwork. Also, guys, free feed of a new property we've begun, Another Podcast Show. That's where we gab and goof about whatever we want. We're not really tethered to this marvelous franchise called The Bachelor, or this incarnation called The Bachelorette. We talk about, I talk to people in Jamaica who want me to join the Illuminati. Nick recounts the time when he was a homeless guy jerking punks off for quarters. And you talk about your marital disputes, which are so fucking hilarious. Also painful. But go over there and listen. Guys, there is a new season on the horizon. How are we feeling about this use of our time?
Is this our thoughts in...
No. Well, to the uninitiated, to new listeners, this ushers in what is known as a fan favorite segment called General Thoughts. Now, it's a little heady, so let me explain it. That is a segment where we kind of talk about how we felt about the episode in a general manner. So, Pat, why don't you go first?
Oh, well,
I'm completely fucking with you. Nick, why don't you go?
Damn it.
Pat's having a rough night. I'm going to kick it back to Pat.
Thank you, Nick.
Knew you would do
Well, I'll say this. Boy, oh boy, the producing is back. Top notch.
Oh,
Let's just...
Svengalis are dancing tonight.
That guy in the box bit, totally paid off. Was it going to be someone she knew from her past? Oh, boy, that would be an awkward surprise. Would it be a celebrity? Maybe Ashton Kutcher dumped that girl.
You thought it was going to be
show.
Ashton Kutcher?
I don't know. They teased that whole box thing for what, 48 minutes?
But you thought it was going to be
You thought it was going to be Ashton Kutcher.
And then, hey, it's a birthday box. What's this have to do with anything? No, it's just a guy in a box. Some douchey guy in a box.
And we'll talk about this later, but it's very similar to a monster in a scary movie. You know, you can't keep people guessing for that long. He has to be really hot or really scary. It's just not going to go well if he's, an eyebrowed, waxed, juice head from wherever the fuck he's from. It's going to be a bad payoff, but you're in the middle of your
my general thoughts,
I'm
Dylan,
sorry.
although I did appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so to kind of describe this episode, which it's the first episode is always the worst. And I come off the meanest because the only thing that I can judge these people on is what they look like for the most part.
Yeah.
I will say this episode was tame and lame, but that's pretty typical for it. And I'd also say just my general vibe of most of the guys on the show this season, bunch of bitches. If they let me on here at Apex Predator, I would be taking Katie home.
You're an Apex Predator?
Oh, yes.
Pat, you're like 50 years old. Potts?
60.
Okay. You'd be taking Katie home.
She's sex positive.
Okay. We'll talk about that later. Nick, why don't you go?
You guys mentioned the box. I, too, have incredibly specific thoughts on the box, but now is not the time for that.
No, those are specific thoughts.
Yeah. My general thoughts on this episode are there's a lot of hype about how sex positive she is. Mm-hmm. And like Pat said, there's a lot of talk and not a lot of sucking and fucking, which I thought that implied.
Right.
But we'll probably get attacked because there's a lot of people checking us out.
I don't care.
But sex positive, I guess, just doesn't mean you have to have sex all the time.
No, it doesn't mean you're a whore. It means you're sex positive.
You just talk about it, I guess. But
Right.
if you're gonna talk about it, be about it, Katie.
Yikes.
Night one.
Potts? God damn it.
62.
God damn it. 75 pods. So we began.
Hey, hold on.
Oh, okay.
I got one more like little PSA or something for new listeners.
A public service announcement.
Yes.
Yummy.
Okay. I'm going to come at this season with a lot of positivity, and I'm going to really enjoy it with the audience, especially the new listeners. I have to say this, though, right at the top. We're going to say some things that might sound a little...
you may be offended.
You might be offended. Okay, and I mean really offended, because we're not like those other wimp podcasts that are all going down like houses of cards.
Yeah, the way we pitch ourselves to advertisers is we talk about the show the way that you guys do on your couch. You say horrible things about the people on TV because you know that will never get to anyone else's ears. But fortunately, or unfortunately for us, you listen to what we say.
So if you listen to this episode in its entirety and you hate us and think that we're misogynist, racist, name it, and you want to go over to iTunes ratings and reviews and give us 1 star, spare us. Get out of here now. Get out.
Well, I would like you to keep listening and then listen to the entire season and then just leave 5 stars and say all the horrible things about us that you want. But leave 5 stars. So,
I hope people are under the impression that we're the good boys of the Bachelor Recap podcast world. We are, in fact, the bad boys.
Okay, can we talk about the fucking show, guys?
Yeah.
So we begin with the voice from the trailers.
Yeah.
Glad he's working again. It was distinctly not Shitface Harrison.
He settled for 8 figures today, by the way. He's never coming back.
Oh, did he really? I'm fine with that. I want to see how you guys are. Harrison, sacrificial lamb and whatnot. Check out Howard Stern if you think Chris Harrison is a Klansman. But every season when I heard his voice at the top of the show, I did an eye roll and I felt a here we go again nausea. And I kind of am happy that he's gone. How do you guys feel?
Well, I think it's one of those things where if they replace you and no one cares, that means you were overpaid for 20 years.
Yeah.
And overpaid on your way out. Like, you kind of didn't let it say 8 figures. And they said mid 8 figures, somewhere between $40 and $60 million. People are saying he got to walk away from this without an NDA, and he had to keep his mouth shut about a lot of stuff.
Oh, so that was the price for the NDA?
They offered him 10, I guess.
So was he going to sue?
Yeah.
Oh, he was suing.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
for
suing.
wrongful termination.
Got it. Okay. Whew, that's an expensive bet on 2021 and the way that things are going.
And I thought it was just another
holy shit,
another example of the stronghold the patriarchy has, thinking they need 2 women to fill Chris Harrison's shoes. It actually disgusted me.
Yeah.
Under the guise we're giving more people opportunities. No, you're taking away half an opportunity from both of these women.
Exactly.
One is a POC. You sons of bitches.
it's like paying Ricky Gervais the same amount of money that you paid Amy Poehler and Tina Fey to host the Golden Globes for. It's just they just split it up. It was a great joke he did. I'm sorry I included that. So I am really excited, though. We've got shadow boxing throughout the season. We've got crying virgins. We've got the classic camera following the stressed out lead throughout the hotel.
There's no fence jumping, though. I don't know.
No. But I still think it's going to be a great season.
Her fence jump was book my flight, though. That was like the big tease.
Book my flight game. Yeah.
She's trying to step the game up.
All right. So we begin.
Fuck your fence. I'm going to get in a plane.
We begin in Seattle, and we get a refreshing moment, that being Katie calling out the lunacy of producers asking you to successfully act out the B-roll shots that we need to start the season off. Most contestants handle this with a psychopathic earnesty, but Katie is not that. She's a little goofier. So she says, how do people do this? And it's a great question, Katie. How do people do it?
She's a little bit of a wild card. That's what I'm excited about. And I don't think it's any coincidence that they have Caitlyn, one of the best wild card bachelorettes in history. Aside from Claire makes my skin crawly. Who would have saw that coming?
Right.
They're going to be giving advice, and Tayshia's going to be like, yeah, just take your time, follow your heart, go with the one you really love. And Caitlyn's going to be like, fuck one of them. Like, that's why she's there.
She's sex
she's the wild card.
She's sex positive.
She's the wild card, a.k.a.
So Mickey's hatred of women, like you mentioned, is on display once again here. We are not at the sprawling estate that is nomenclature. We're at a Hyatt in the fucking desert.
Another fucking dump. I told them I didn't want to see this again.
It looks like a fucking state school with a pool. The room that she's in looks like shit. The views of the briars and the fucking thorns are harsh.
How about some air conditioning in that dump? Did you see all these guys? They look like they're overdosing on fentanyl.
It's 130 degrees. There's not a wall unit in sight. This is unbelievable.
If
Katie
you don't-
brought her own mirror there. There's no feature for the mirror. It's just slapped onto the table.
And I honestly think it's a pretty safe bet that the staff of the Hyatt Regency Tamaya Resort and Spa are all high on fentanyl.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Although fentanyl's a confusing one to me. It's like, oh, you can't do cocaine because there's fentanyl in it. Well, what? Why not? First off, I've heard the stories, but why are people putting it? That's for another podcast show. So, if I could give this place 0 dots, I would. Do you have a review on this?
I'm going to read it next week.
Okay,
I think,
great.
Because I'm not
Well,
prepared.
hey,
This
we
is
have
gonna take
plenty
for a
of
while.
time. We have plenty of time.
But is this in Albuquerque?
I don't know.
It's in New Mexico.
Yeah, it's in Albuquerque. Ugh.
All right. So Katie thinks that she is all alone, but little does she know.
Santa Fe's lovely. Albuquerque. Ugh.
Thelma and Louise survived that fall somehow. And
No, they didn't.
here.
It was a double suicide. It was a double suicide. And by the way,
No, they survived the fall. I know they're here.
now before Thelma and Louise show up, I want to point out a couple things.
Yeah.
Because Katie says some insane things. She says she knows she will meet her soulmate here. And I was thinking, if soulmate's new definition is meeting a stranger you barely know and picking them and breaking up after a few months, but despite that, you'll both move on to selling Papa John's pizza on your Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
That you'll definitely find your soulmate here.
Hey, that's a super convoluted definition of soulmate. But I think that you're right. If she does think that that's what it means, I think she's 100% right. She knows that she's going to meet that man here.
And he's here.
And if
He's here.
if she does think that's what it means, honestly, Katie and Pat might be soulmates because they're the only two people on the planet that think that's what it means.
Yeah.
I'll hawk some Papa John's.
And you love Papa John's.
Love it. Get it with that extra sauce, light cheese.
Yeah, it's disgusting garbage to kill us. Quick. But Pat loves it.
Better ingredients, better pizza. But you said...
Have you had a Papadilla, Pat? Have you had the Papadilla?
No.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Pat, did you just pull that example out of thin air? Or are they really getting into the influencer sponsoring
They're in the
game?
influencer sponsor.
Oh,
DeMario, a friend of the show, he's hawking Papa John's on his Instagram.
He is not. I'm not. I don't like it.
I don't like DeMario either.
But yeah, I'm gonna reach out to Papa Johnson and see if we can get some of that sweet pizza.
Don't
money.
let him listen to this show.
So I said the Papadilla. I said good things about the Papadilla, Pat.
Okay.
So Bristow and Tasha will be the new hosts of the season. They go inside and they first do this little sneak up gag, which was really cute. Do you have any comments on the Svengalis? Because I was thinking, Katie, if you're so surprised, how do you direct them inside so quickly?
Yeah.
Svengalis, your
setup.
strings are showing.
Hey, a little sidebar note there. How pissed off is Rachel, Lindsay, and JoJo about this?
Oh, you
casting?
think so?
Oh, Rachel is probably really upset.
Well, Rachel's taking a break from The Bachelor.
She wouldn't, if they offered her this gig, she would have 110% taken it.
I think so, too.
She's very upset by this.
Yeah.
I think she left the franchise completely. She broke her contract. There was a part where she took a break, but now, and it's definitely a break because she's going to be back. But I think she's saying it's not a break.
Right. When the income starts drying up a little bit, she'll be back.
Oh, yeah, they always are.
All right, so Katie asks Tasha and Bristow for the top 2 things they wish they knew. Top 2? 2. Reminds me of Nick counting down Jeopardy contestants or hosts. You go 1 to 4 to 5 to 2 to 3. The top 2 things. Am I harping on this too much?
No.
No, it was illogical, Dylan.
Top 2.
There's beauty in randomness.
All right, so Tasha says don't rule out anyone. I thought Zach looked like
The Lisperer.
I thought Zach looked like a pill addict, and I was right, and I married him. So don't rule anyone out, because you can find happiness too.
She
He
almost
may
picked the guy-
rob me blind one night. I'll wake up with a fucking gun to my head, but right now I'm happy.
The man.
Don't rule anyone out.
Don't
Sorry.
really want to. I almost picked a guy who admitted to throwing up. And I said, when was that as a teenager? He said, 6 months ago.
Right. And the guy I did pick tried to sell a gallbladder to get more OxyContin. See what you're doing to people, Purdue?
I was also going to give the selling the organ example.
Sorry.
Of the one she did actually pick. No, it just reiterates the point.
Yeah.
The whole joke, how
don't
she
rule
picked
anyone out.
Yeah, don't rule anyone out.
All right, so let's get to the limo exits and the lack of socks. First up, I should say, but before we do, let's take a quick little break to hear a word from our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Magic Mind. Guys, this is an elixir the likes of which human beings have never fucking ingested. It is green. It is powerful. It will give you consistent energy throughout the day. You don't need to do a ton of Adderall like Thomas. You'll be asking people to touch your skin and sweating. It's just not good. You got to go to magicmind.co, enter in promo code Katie to get 25% off the most divine, productive drink on planet Earth. You got anything to add?
I do. Help us with our sponsors, because these are people, this show and the content we're doing. You already heard me at this point in the episode. I say some really offensive things.
Right.
It's tough for us to find advertisers. One way you can help us is by showing these advertisers. They give us a little bit of money.
Right.
We'll give them their ROI.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're helping us by helping them. You know what I'm saying?
You're helping us.
Yeah.
You're helping the people who are supporting us. Magic Mind, and you're also helping yourself, because I'm telling you, you can kick an Adderall habit. If you don't have to stop doing coffee. Drink your cup of coffee, but add this daily shot, matcha, some other earthy ingredients that just give you that slow drip of caffeine throughout the day, so you're not crashing, taking a midday nap.
You're not skyrocketing and crashing and getting irritable.
Not only
You will
that,
feel like a Zen productive
I don't think this is on the
master.
bottle, and they're making any promises of this. But when I do it, I bang my wife twice,
Yep.
and at the same day.
Yep.
I haven't.
And
done
you
that.
hate sex.
Well, I'm not a fan, especially not appointment sex, which my wife says we have to have sex at least once a week. You know what I did to her this week? We got done, and she's like,
Threw
"Well,
a
I'll
little
see you next
Magic
week."
Mind down there.
I guzzled a little Magic Mind. I banged her twice.
Pat said,
She's
I
like,
don't
"What the hell is this?"
Pat said, I don't think. I guarantee none of that is on the side of this bottle.
Right.
It's more the ingredients.
You mean the personal anecdote about Pat banging his wife twice?
Yeah.
She loved it though.
But the point is,
She said, "Drink more of that."
magicmind.co, 25% off with promo code Katie. The shit works.
Let's get back to the show.
Before we do, I'm teasing a read. I'm teasing an ad read. During next week's ad read, I'm going to tell a little anecdote about a little musician called Langhorne Slim. Shit changed his life.
I'm going to do a call-in for my wife, Cherie, and ask her how her pussy's
Hey,
feeling.
can we get back to the fucking show now?
All right, it's Magic. How you say it again?
Magicmind.co, promo code Katie, 25% off. Let's get back to the show. All right, so first up, Thomas. He's in real estate, which means he is a rudderless human being. Real estate agents are people who fell for Plan C and then just kind of stuck with that. Do not pick this guy.
100% not, especially with this little speech he gives out of the
Right.
gate. He has deep admiration for her stepping into her strength, blah, 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 whatever that means. I hate when people just mix a bunch of words together and think it's going to come off as mean. Like something.
He's a Century 21 agent. You know?
I bet this guy likes cuckold porn. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing is that jacket he's wearing looks like he borrowed it from the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
I'm not judging, but it looks like something you'd wear to prom.
Right.
And those sideburns are outrageous. You should be eliminated immediately.
I love it when it's the Bachelorette because we can pick on the guys so much easier. And also, I just think they do a better job casting the Bachelorette.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've had some of the shittiest bachelors for the past 3 seasons. Tangent, it shouldn't be here where I'm putting it,
Right.
but you ripping into that guy's outfit just kind of jogged my brain.
I'm just
up in the
getting
wrong
warmed
way.
up.
All right, so Aaron steps up next. He says, "You're radiant." And I am told often I have a nice smile. Katie, do not pick this guy.
Oh boy, what a fucking humble bragger. Here's my thing.
Big fat fucking jaw.
He looks like Iggy. I have to say this. He does look like an insurance agent.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Big fucking fat jaw. All right.
And the star, the future star of I Don't Like You, Brogate.
Right. What the fuck was that? Hey, camera guys, can we capture what's going on at the house, please? So America isn't fucking... All right.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But I also want to say about Thomas, just actually, like, he's my favorite. And
Oh, my God.
I think he could be Bachelor. going back to the first guy.
Are you trolling us right now?
I like Thomas. Real estate broker.
He has
from
the
Poway.
worst picker.
Poway.
The worst picker.
Are you kidding?
You remember when you loved that guy who used to hammer Papadias and then throw up?
Remember when I loved Garrett and he won, and then I loved
and then
other
he became
people
a
who
Blue
did
Lives
well?
Matter nut job?
Yeah, I love him.
Hey, no politics. Let's start attacking some other people.
Andrew M. Speaking of right-wing nuts, Deputy District Attorney of Newport Beach, California.
Oh, has to be.
Seems like a nice guy, though. Kind of boring, but that's who she should pick, but she will not pick.
Yeah, he starts with a there she is. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Then he says, I want to let you know that I came here for you. As opposed to what? Kick rocks. Katie, do not pick this guy. Mm-hmm. David, up next, New York Minute guy. He's wearing capris.
Is that what that was?
It's not capris.
Go dig some clams out of the Hudson. You look ridiculous.
The hem on the pant is going up, 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 up. Every season. It's unbelievable.
And the pants are too tight. I don't want to see the wrinkles in your balls. No one needs to see that.
No one needs to see that. It looks like you're smuggling raisins.
And now he calls himself a New Yorker, but he left for Nashville. That's what it said on screen, unless it was some sort of a mistake.
No, I think... Excuse me, we're going to war with China. If you can hear the MiG above us, that is definitely a MiG. It's confusing because MiG is Russian. I said we're going to war with China.
I said we're going to war with China and Russia.
Right. So Katie utters the words, they're all tens. What? Sure. And then comes an almost 40-year-old Michael. He is a quote-unquote business owner. Probably means he's a sex trafficker. And he brings her an heirloom. He's looking around like he's got a dime bag in his pocket. And then he pulls out a watch, says it's 200 years old. I don't hate this gag. He says it's a joke. I got it at the airport. I just don't think that the shakes add to the performance. He's like, just you're not pulling it off. You're too nervous. Just say hi.
And also, he could have pulled off James Bond type shit, but he's got those weird eyes. Really, really
beady.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. They were sunken, also
Okay.
beady and sunken.
Katie, do not pick this guy.
Two non-desirable qualities in eyes.
All right, so really quickly, we cut back to the guys in the Hyatt, and I think Thomas, Nick's favorite, says she looks good tonight, huh, boys? It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, man.
He says he swallowed his bow tie. Thomas, it is around your neck. What the fuck are you talking about? This is people just talking because the camera's on them. This man is R-worded. Mm-hmm. He has a mental disability.
Or it could be fentanyl.
All right.
Quickly about Michael, though, he said the words, the magic words that signify you definitely are a creep. He goes, I'm not a creep.
Oh,
right. 100%. So a truck pulls up. Tasha and Bristow say they love a guy in a truck. Ugh. I hope the black community is disappointed in Tasha. How OJ can you get? She's from the county of Orange and she loves guys in trucks. Tasha, you're blowing it, okay? And I know everyone can be their true self, but come on.
But Dylan, didn't that win you back when they cut to Tasha and Caitlin again, and they were both eating their mouths filled with popcorn?
Hey, Pat.
I about fell out of my seat.
Pat, it didn't. It did not.
That part crushed me. I was with you on that one.
Right?
All right, so
Trey.
Quirky music plays as Trey erupts out of the ball pit in the bed of the truck. We had a package on Trey. Trey reads Latin. Mm-hmm. Why? I'm kidding. That's kind of tight.
No. Trey was not tight. He also cited knowing 40 characters of pi. And you kind of said it before, but memorization is the lowest form of intelligence.
Spelling is.
Memorization is like the one, like the
right.
thing people say a lot. You're saying is spelling is the lowest form of intelligence.
Right.
Some people would say spelling is a form of memorization, but not if you really understand the words. This guy is a pseudo-intellectual, and I'm not buying any of it.
Well, I kind of like him.
I do too.
He says he sings a lot, though, so... Yeah, but he's here to have a ball with her, he says. But I will say, I just don't think he's attractive.
Trey, no way.
He's not attractive enough. I like him, but Katie, do not pick that kid. So Greg steps out next.
Oh, boy.
You got a lot of thoughts on Greg?
Oh, I'm a little concerned about Greg.
All right. Well, let me...
He looks like he puts his fingers in other people's bums and smells his fingers.
Completely.
Sorry. I don't know where you're getting that from, but he steps
Dylan,
out.
people appreciate my criminal profiler-like abilities to distill a human being's character down in just a few words immediately.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can I get to the Shahem?
Does he look like he smells his fingers?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, he's a New York dude. He's got a big family. I have written, get off this show, go meet people normally. You're a good-looking accountant. I don't know what you're doing here. With that being said, I do feel he'll win the show if she doesn't pull a Claire and go for the hottest guy. It just makes sense, these two. He's goofy but cute. His family can be the one that she's always wanted. His Oedipus complex will drive a wedge between Katie and his mother, and the relationship will fail as a result of that. But that's about as good as you can ask for from this show.
100%.
From this show.
Right.
I'm still confused about you, what you said about him
Sound
wanting to
a
smell
little
shit.
off.
What do you mean by that? Like, what does... If you could pick a fault in his character, like a more concrete thing, and not he shoves his fingers up people's assholes.
I don't know
and
how it
smells of
comes to
poop.
me. I am merely a vessel.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what your muse's name is.
I found
Robbie.
I wouldn't say this speaks for or against Greg's character, but his doppelganger is the dad from Homeward Bound. They look a lot alike.
Okay, all right. I can kind of not see that at all.
It's just everybody Google it.
Now, Dylan, you mentioned that that Katie should pick this guy, but she might pick a better looking
Hang
guy.
on 1 second, though. If you're pulling together like a diptych of the two of them right now, you shouldn't do that.
Okay.
Because you should just be here present with
I am
us talking
present.
about the show. Well, you're not. You're fucking around on Google trying to pull a picture of Greg and the guy that he doesn't look like so we can get them side by side, and then me and Pat will go, yeah, you showed us these two already. They don't look anything alike.
But I'm also screen recording, so then I'll have it for
Okay, so Pat, what were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say, your concern for Katie is that she'll probably not pick the guy that's Mr. Right. She'll pick the best looking guy that she's most attracted to. And that happens to be the next guy in the limo procession.
Who was that? Was that Brendan?
Gabriel. Oh, my wife. She kept saying over and over. He kind of looks like James Franco.
No way. This guy
She
gets
thought
to the
he was
end.
so hot. He's the one that did the breathing exercise.
Yeah, he
my
looked-
wife started fingering herself.
So,
She noted he had nice hands.
Showstopper.
I thought he looked like a rapist. He does a breathing hug that was really, really creepy. And Tasha and Bristow are unreliable narrators. They say he took her breath away.
Someone took improv classes.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Katie, do not pick this guy. All right, next up, John, bartender. Better than real estate agent. He looks like he should be in a high school, like a varsity soccer jersey coming out of the limo. He looks like a child.
I'm going to say this guy is here for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
He's a bartender at Pacific Beach. He's 27 years old, and he's got his hair slicked back like that. He's definitely having sex with 45-year-old divorcees.
100%.
I'm glad you brought up the hair, Nick. It was so shiny, I thought I could see myself watching him in it.
All right, so we get a few guys that aren't going to make it past episode 4. We've got Josh. He said 20% excited, 80% something else.
The stats guy.
Yeah.
This was interesting. Let me give you the breakdown because he decided to give her percentages on his feelings and thoughts for the night. He says, I'm 20% goofy looking. I'm 70% boring, 10% bubble ass, and I have a 0% chance of going on.
Hey, Pat.
I feel like a mean bitch right now.
That is so fun.
And for those at home that don't know and they're new to the program, we have contacts to pay a stenographer who writes complete transcripts of the show.
Yep.
So if you're wondering how
It's a very
Pat
expensive service that
was
we
able
pay
to
for.
quote word for word.
Right.
Now we're jumping around here, Dylan. Are you going to talk about Carl B., the motivational speaker from Miami 34?
Well, Carl is not up yet, according to my notes.
Well, we skipped over a bunch of people that aren't going to even make it past the first night.
Well,
We haven't yet.
We've got Landon, McConaughey's ugly nephew, and then I've got Carl.
Yeah, then I've got Carl.
Well, we have Austin, the real estate investor, wearing a chain. The only jewelry a man should wear is a watch. I don't like that chain.
Yeah.
It looks absurd.
And this
Too
season,
many people wear crucifix.
the pandemic was so evident when you looked at where all these people were from. It was every different beach town in Southern California.
Right.
And then a couple places.
Redondo, Newport.
This guy was Mission Viejo.
Right. Where are these places? And don't say you're from Los Angeles, because you're not from fucking Los Angeles. All right, so we get a package on Carl. Carl Smith, his whole family wonders what's wrong with him. So naturally, he gives other people life advice. He's a motivational speaker. Katie, do not pick this guy. He has the face of a motivational speaker, too. They all have that stuck, scary face. You know, like Tony Robbins has a very intense face. You know, Carl's got, he doesn't look like Tony Robbins, but he's got the same horrifying countenance.
Well, Dylan, what really triggered me is I don't like a motivational speaker at the age of 34. You know, I need some gray in your hair if you're going to start telling people how to live their lives. You need to have loved and lost. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like being a director of a gangbang pour and be a virgin.
Yeah.
It's just like that. How would you know?
Yeah, or like a 16-year-old doing stand-up comedy.
I've seen that before. It's horrible.
And if you must be a 34-year-old motivational speaker, I at least want to see your domicile, where you live, a little peek behind the curtain before I start listening to the snake oil you're selling.
Yeah, it reminds me of 90 Day Fiancé. You remember that guy who taught women how to be better women? His eyes were popping out of his head. He was like, "You guys are less than men, so let's start there, and then how much you guys are paying already, right?" Okay, so Andrew S. arrives in a Model T and turns on the British accent. We've got a package on this fella. Plays football in Austria. Katie, do not pick this guy. I'm actually kind of kidding. He seems like a good dude, and he seems like he's going to go a long way or eliminate it tonight. Don't think that's going to happen because it happened already. God, these notes are tricky with the time.
Well, you're bragging about playing football in Australia is like saying you're an assistant crack whore under a bridge.
Not quite, but it's not. The career aspirations aren't, sky high or anything like that.
That's what I was doing the comparison.
Right.
I like that he wasn't giving up the dream, just hoping for the call somehow during the pandemic and continuing to play overseas.
Yeah.
He does look like Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes, he does a little bit, though not as freakishly huge.
One last note on Andrew. As he goes in the house, he says, "I made an impression." He was really happy with his performance.
He did.
Well, I'd have to remind him, it started out, he basically lied.
Oh, fuck off.
Some girl did that in the beginning of Matt James' season, but she didn't break it to him, remember?
Right, yeah, she did the Aussie accent.
Sometimes these jokes, right? You dig a little deeper, that could manifest itself later in the relationship. He was pulling off a pretty good lie there. That means he's a manipulator.
It was a great point, but she sussed out his lie, so maybe they're a good yin and yang because she wasn't having it. But like, I actually
say ying.
What was that?
Did you say ying?
I did. Yin.
This is the type of character. He's got two phones, and before he goes into the house or apartment where he lives with his girlfriend, he hides it in a planter near the door.
You sounded like a racist New York cop on the beat, just pointing at two Asian guys. Hey, look it over there. It's fucking yin and yang.
I actually thought his British accent was really good.
I thought it was good too.
None of us have mentioned yet. I think we're all in agreement. There's something really appealing about that. I love these like British hip hop artists. There's a whole wave of them.
Especially the female ones.
I like such trash.
I like Skepta.
Oh my god.
I
can confidently say, aside from the Foo Fighters, British hip hop is my least favorite music on planet. It's the most awful thing to listen to. Do not play. any fucking second of it. So next up, we get Moped Guy.
Chris Angel.
Do not.
Okay,
don't,
fine.
Don't. No. But you're doing it. You're doing.
Oh, that was an accident. Skepta.
Holy shit.
That was a Skepta interlude.
I'm not kidding. It makes me angry when I hear it. It's so stupid. You have such bad taste.
I don't really like it. It's funny. It's a British hip hop.
All right, so Moped Guy, like you said, Chris Angel, looks like the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, just with a tan. What are you doing with this haircut? What's he, 35? The bangs still in a heart shape, like an anime character. You look like you're a punk rock singer from Kingdom Hearts.
He looks like he works at Amoeba Records, but would never admit that to anybody that lives in his hometown.
Right.
He'd say he's a record producer or something.
Are we talking about, he looked like, to me, Johnny Depp wannabe? Like 21 Jump
From a
Street?
Tim Burton film, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, we've got the guy that throws his underwear.
Is that Connor B?
I don't know.
The math teacher that really wants to be a musician?
Oh, is that
He says
him?
Katie's gorgeous. Get out the lie detector.
Oh, whoa, that's really disgusting. on
Wait,
you.
no. I've been trashing all the guys.
I think Katie's really, really pretty.
My wife said this, so I'm going to just say what my wife said so it doesn't come back to me if they want to.
You already said what your wife said, but
She
in your
said
own words.
for most of these guys, because my wife is a fan of these guys, she thinks they're really attractive. I disagree with her. She
Okay.
says the pick of the litter here is far better than what got thrown at Tayshia and Claire Makes My Skin Crawly
Right,
season.
okay.
And she said that most of these guys wouldn't even give Katie a second thought, or if they did, it would be a hit it and quit it situation.
All right, Cherie is a
Cherie.
cold person.
Yell at Cherie, and if you want to leave a bad review for us, make sure you mention her name. I'll show it to her. Her middle name's Amore.
All right, so Hunter is up next. He's I'm gonna sound gross too. He's a very ugly man.
Dylan
Looks like Quasimodo. He brings a fish.
Dylan, he looks like a gorilla.
He brings a fish.
He looks like a gorilla.
Jeff comes up next. He is, what a character. I wish we got to spend some more time with him. He lives in a van. We'll get to his attempt to rape the Bachelorette later. But let's get to the present. This is our first moment where we get the big box and we wonder, just like Brad did, what is in it? Now, I mentioned this was always going to be anticlimactic because it's not going to be an Adonis.
It's not going to be Ashton Kutcher.
It's not going to be Ashton Kutcher. So whatever comes out of this box is going to be a colossal disappointment. And it was.
Oh, yes, it was.
I know we scoffed at Pat for thinking it was going to be Ashton Kutcher, but I thought it was going to be Matthew Perry.
Right.
Or maybe someone, the first guy she ever dated. He just flew out here secretly, seeing if he could, rehash an old flame.
I would love that. And they would cut up to Tayshia and Bristol, and they'd go, "Oh my God, who is that? Is that an ex-boyfriend?"
A little Ross Gurgle action.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Brendan is up next. Comes out with a lot of confidence for a failed hockey player.
And a trainee. You shouldn't have, when you're bragging about what you do for your occupation, it shouldn't say trainee after it.
Yeah, well, he's a firefighter, and he is not going to get hired because the fire departments have a lot of diversity quotas they need to hit. And also, your father hates you. Katie, do not pick this guy.
His pants were too tight. I also am still not a fan of the dress shoes with no socks. He looks absurd, and he has a bubble ass.
Marcus is up next. Sweetheart. Big eyebrows.
Nice guy.
I don't know why this guy got a dedicated hello. He'll be gone very, very soon.
Very soon.
We got a package on the next guy. It's Mike the Virgin. He's not afraid of sex positivity, but he is afraid of sin. He speaks like a youth pastor. Katie, do not pick this guy.
Sex positive. He's positively into sucking cock. 100%.
Dude, Robbie's really speaking through you tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You're really disgusting.
This isn't me.
He's just a vessel, and who's ever injecting him with this knowledge was spot on with Colton. So maybe we should listen to the man, all right? Where there's smoke, where there's gay smoke, there's gay fire.
100%. I called it with Colton, and then a bunch of people said I was a misogynist, bigot, or something like that. And then look who's right now. Sometimes you have to wait years.
What does gay fire look like?
Does
it just dance a little bit more?
Yeah, just more sparkle.
Okay.
Gentlemen, would you like the Webster's definition? Because we've been throwing around the word sex positivity on the show.
Sure, yeah.
Sex positivity is an attitude towards human sexuality that regards all consensual sex activities as fundamentally healthy and pleasurable, encouraging sexual pleasure and experimentation. The sex positive movement, I like how we have a movement about this.
Yeah.
People just want to come.
Right.
Jesus Christ, boy.
Yeah.
Also advocates for comprehensive sex education and safe sex. So pull out, people.
Merriam-Webster has really been good of late at making up wacky definitions for made-up words. They've really been trafficking well in that. So,
they've been taken over by politicized groups and can no longer be trusted, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike.
That's
looks
not
like,
what cornucopia means, Miriam.
Mike looks like fitness nut and experimenter of his own body, Ben Greenfield.
Who's that?
You'd know.
Is that Papadilla?
We talked about him back in the day. He's this psycho guy who unplugs all his electronics before he goes to bed because he doesn't want the blue light radiance to like fuck up his magnetic field. Every single thing the guy puts into his body is to improve performance or to A/B test to see if it improves performance. But Mike looks a lot like him and seems to have his same amount of
that guy needs to
discipline.
get thrown into a fucking soft room. He sounds like a nut job.
Oh, he's an absolute nut job, but a body that absolutely does not quit.
All right, so next up, we've got Cody. He is a zipper sales manager, which sounds like an ad lib. Tasha says that he is so handsome for her.
For her.
Tasha.
For her.
Will you shut up? What are you talking about, Tasha? You should be better at this. You've been on this show so many fucking times.
She's trying to earn that $15K she got paid.
Yeah.
Zipper sales manager sounds like someone who's bad at Words with Friends.
Yeah.
Is that the right one? No, not Words with Friends. Cards Against Humanity. It's like, that's not funny. There's no joke.
Right. Hey, why didn't you pick mine? Because it wasn't funny, Alan.
Everybody uses Helen Keller. They think that's their ace in the hole.
Oprah crying into a lean cuisine. Got it, yeah. That game is so fucking stupid.
Zipper sales
Just talk
manager.
to each other. Everybody just talk to one another. That's it. Open a bottle of wine and have a conversation.
Now, I want to point something out for the next couple dudes that come out here. And this includes Cody, the zipper salesman. I'd forgotten this whole sex positivity thing and Katie kind of using this as a real definition of who she is about her. It's a big part of the character she's created.
Yeah.
Katie,
she had a dildo in her hand for the first 3 episodes.
That's my point. So all these pigs, she doesn't understand how stupid we are. They're all coming in here thinking, I'm going to really sex this up and she's going to dig it. And they're not wrong. I'm just saying, I've never seen this much crass behavior of suitors coming to try and woo the affections of a woman.
Does it offend your delicate sensibilities?
I would be offended if someone showed up with a blow-up doll with cum all over it named Sandy.
Well, I don't think there was a ton of cum, but let's talk about it. I don't remember. Oh, it's Cody.
What a sicko.
Nice. Good segue, Pat.
Yeah, so they could have gotten a doll that didn't look like a golden girl for him to walk out there with, but I thought he committed to the bit.
There are some dolls that look like dolls, but maybe she would have been weirded out. She probably think, well, maybe he did come in this thing. Jesus, because they're dolls that look like real women.
Have you shopped around?
No.
Those get pretty pricey, but so I don't blame them.
How would you know?
Oh.
I don't blame.
Yeah.
I
How do you know?
I feel like the authenticity of the doll would have actually ruined the bit, but that's why I thought they pussed out, because you got to go with the doll that actually has the hole in the mouth.
Right.
We had one kicking around in college, going house to house. It'd show up in your car, what have you, as a fun prank.
Oh, is it fun? No one actually fucked them.
Oh, no, we weren't all taking turns fucking it. No.
Oh, okay, great.
But I would put it in my car to take the carpool lane to the suburbs of Minnesota.
You kidding?
No. I don't think it would work, but it was funny. Maybe
Oh, no, it worked.
No,
people are looking in your windows.
It doesn't work.
Pretty intently, because
put a hat on it?
That's how they make their money. Oh yeah, I dressed her up.
It's like that episode of Curb where
I duct taped her mouth shut.
Larry picks up a sex positive worker on the side of the road, puts her in his car. He wants to get to the Dodger game. He needs her to get in the diamond line.
So he pays her for his time just to use the carpool lane. Genius.
All right.
Ticket.
So Justin the Painter is up next. He talks about beating off.
He wants to stroke one out on her. See, Katie, you get what you reap what you sow, kid.
Boston guy also talks about rubbing one out.
She eats it up.
I love this Boston douchebag guy. He's my favorite. I like people from that part of the country.
Thanks.
Well, you're
Massholes.
So Courtney is up next. That name is not spelled correctly. He wants her to come and he can eat pussy for hours.
Call him Pinhead. Pinhead. I'm not saying that because he's not smart. It's because his head literally looks like the tip of a
very,
pin.
very small head. And that name is not spelled correctly. This man is coming on very, very strong. Katie, do not pick this guy.
He came too heavy at the end with the sexual puns, but I loved all the Q words. I haven't heard that many in the row since Gloria was on Jeopardy and White Man Can't Jump. Shout out for all you that get that one.
Nick just shot an air pistol at the camera.
Free video this year. Go to our YouTube, Another Bachelor Podcast.
He shot an air pistol at the camera. So Connor B is up next. He comes out in a cat costume. I think we're getting confused here. I thought this was the guy who was the third grade teacher.
He's also a teacher. He's a math teacher.
Oh, okay. I don't know which teacher has dreams of being a musician, but whichever one it is, do not pick that one, Katie, because that is just not good.
Now,
once you're a third grade teacher, just, stick to being a third grade teacher. You're not going to be a musician. It's not going to happen.
It is the one that came out as a cat.
Okay.
He's a teacher in Nashville, 8th grade math teacher. But either way, it's like you're not committing to a profession. It is kind of, I feel like, a vagrant. He's probably a substitute if you're really dug enough.
Yep.
But Jed vibes coming off him despite
Total
the funny,
Jed vibes.
Despite the funny cat costume. I mean, that actually, maybe he's got a jingle food commercial. A jingle.
How does that jingle go again?
Better Bowl.
How does it go?
Somebody did deserve it.
Big forehead.
But they you mentioned one of the lines that Katie said. They have her mic'd up, and in between men's, she gets to say a line, improv a line, and they throw it in there. For him, she was like, digging the cat.
Yeah.
I would just crush this. Everyone, I'd have something lined up. If this guy walked away, I would have been like, what a pussy.
Shoot the air pistol. Shoot the air pistol. All right, so Carl says, who wants to compete with that when he sees the guy in the cat costume? I don't know. Anyone in a suit with socks on?
This is
Jesus
Christ. I have an admission, and this is something I want to say about overall the rest of this episode. The guys are too cordial. Later, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We have a mild dust up of two douchebags from San Diego that know each other and
with
don't like each other.
No context because the cameras didn't catch it.
Exactly. But
I don't fucking like you.
I don't like you. Oh, I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't fucking like you.
All right, man. But I at this point, the show kind of loses me. I believe we've gone through all the limos, and now we're cutting to the side. And my one critique that main critique that I have of this particular episode, we've never not had a villain show their hand in the first episode. There is not a single villain. Everyone's playing it. They're all being too nice to each other.
We're going to have a villain. It'll be we already got the 2-on-1 set up. I think it's Alan. Is that his name? What's the Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron. Fat jaw. Looks like Josh from The Challenge. So, James gets wheeled in the box. We'll get to that later.
Let me tell you what I would have done.
Huge disappointment.
This show,
I would have kicked it over like a
that's what I would have done.
Yeah,
I would have started cracking claws away. I'd be on my fourth claw.
Right.
I'd start antagonizing some of the guys. I'd start dancing or something like that.
Apex Predator.
Right. And then my first move is I would have said, get out of that box. Get out.
I actually thought the whole thing was just an incredible homage. I don't know if people caught it earlier, but I was talking about the one with Chandler in the box, season 4, episode 8 of Friends.
Right.
When I've brought this one up before, but
yeah,
when
of
Chandler to apologize to Joey for kissing Kathy stays in the box during Thanksgiving, and he has a hilarious moment when it's really tense at dinner and it's silence, and all of a sudden you hear Chandler from the box. He goes, "You can't tell, but I'm breaking the tension by mooning you guys."
All right, so Katie comes in. She says, quarantine sucked, huh? And one guy from the back goes, it was worth it.
I have to
Do not pick that guy.
Don't pick that guy.
Don't pick that guy.
I liked her little speech here.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the rattling that fucking ice that I was struggling to hear her cute little speech over, it would have been fun. Come on, producer, step up. You don't remember that? As she's doing that speech, she's shaking because I don't think she's gotten her dose of fentanyl. That will be a running
Oh,
gag
she's
throughout
on
the season.
fentanyl too.
I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of sweating going on and a lot of fast talking. And
Fentanyl is a depressant, I think.
No. It's made in China labs. It's here to actually. You were asking about cocaine earlier. The reason that they're mixing with cocaine is you can. It's a cheaper derivative of an amphetamine. It's deadly.
No, it's not an amphetamine. It's like a pain. It's for pain.
It's an amphetamine.
No, it's the opposite of.
Kills
Okay,
people.
so British accent, guys. I mean, so do. All right.
I came into this believing I was on Dylan's train of thought. I thought it was for opiates, painkillers, whatever. Was confused by why they
It's
cut it
an
with cocaine.
elephant tranquilizer, I think.
I almost died on that in Vegas once.
Your confidence though is swaying me, but he was wrong about that restaurant being on Sunset, so I don't know what
Santa
to
Monica
believe
Boulevard.
anymore.
That was so funny. And you're right. When I'm wrong, I don't say it enough.
Thanks.
So British accent guy is up first. He's great. I just love this guy. Sorry to break from shitting on the show, but I think he's a good dude. Don't want to say dark horse. Not even a dark horse. I think he's going to be in the top 4 pretty easily.
Can I tell you one thing that I did kind of like this? Except for Thomas, who I believe is up. I also called him the sweating guy. Dude, please check
He's on all that fentanyl.
Please check yourself into the nurse at first aid because you're talking too fast, and I'm pretty sure you swallowed a fatal dose of fentanyl. But he thanks her for her being a calming effect to him.
Yeah, so this is so ironic and also very funny. This is Nick's favorite guy.
Maybe the fentanyl was in his tie.
This is the guy who swallowed the bow tie on his neck, and he's asking the other guys to feel his pulse.
He's like, I think I might be OD.
And he is drenched in sweat, so maybe not fentanyl, but perhaps he's on 50 milligrams of Adderall right now because he is drenched in sweat. He's making no sense, and he's talking a mile a minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Boston douchebag guy is up
Oh,
next.
no, we got Blade. Isn't that the
Thomas
guy
is-
that brings out the crystals? Blade. The guy with the earring.
Oh.
Call him Blade. He looks like Wesley Snipes from Blade. He also wore an earring. Call him Blade.
Can we move on? Sure.
Wesley Snipes, also in White Man Can't Jump. Isn't it crazy how the world works, guys?
In what way?
Wesley Snipes is everywhere.
Okay, so Jewish Justin Long sits down and blows her away with this pasta necklace.
Justin Long isn't Jewish?
This dude...
I said the Jew sits down, and I was like, you're going to get in trouble if you...
Well, I could say the Jew sits down. It would be a little tough coming out of your mouth, but as the resident heave in the room, I think it's okay.
This is
And as
also
the
the guy who
resident-
smells his fingers.
Yeah, I still don't know what you mean by that. But this dude is going to get his fucking heart ripped in half. She's going to pull a Claire. He will be left at the altar. Mark my words.
Which guy?
Jewish Justin Long.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
My wife says he's the front runner.
Oh, yeah.
He got the first impression roast.
I don't get ahead of yourself.
Way to walk out on a
We got another hour of podcasting.
Hey, what? Your wife's a real gumshoe.
He says his family is everything, and I like that little speech because they're having real conversations. Remember, we've had a couple seasons with people that are far too young to be exploring these experiences and conversations.
Sure, like Kit Kat.
So you just get a bunch of dumb accolades, right?
Yeah.
People, they're kind of talking real is my point. We're having real conversations and the uncomfortableness of a first date or whatever.
This guy's got game.
He's also got a little bit of vocal fry, my friend.
Well, he's got a slow roll game. I think that I just, I don't want to say he reminds me of myself, but I know where this guy's coming from. He's going to play it cute, and he's in for the long haul.
Well, and you mentioned though the problem is going to be when they do a hometown and he introduces to his Jewish mom. Did you?
I think they're Italian, but yeah.
Well, for the sake of a running gag that's really insensitive, Dylan, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but what's the difference between a pit bull and a Jewish mother?
Pit bulls cook better.
No.
Jaw
A
strength.
pit bull eventually lets go.
Oh,
Pretty much. I was pretty much right.
love that. Do you want to know how you start a stampede in Israel? Throw a quarter on the ground.
Is this one of those where there's like a series where they get like progressive?
No.
That was
Yeah.
just it. Yeah.
You want to hear another Jew joke?
Yeah. Do that nose.
Hey, by the way,
one in wall.
Dylan's Jewish, by the way.
You want to hear another Jew joke?
Please.
Gentile walks into a suit store. He sees a seersucker on the wall. He says, "This is a beautiful suit. How much is it?" The clerk says, $395. He says, "I'll take it." It's a Jew joke, but it's a Gentile. Because the Jew would haggle.
You mentioned how Greg has a game. He's just unassuming. He definitely does. He's got his suit, and I'm going to use the word again, is unassuming.
Yes.
And underneath, we saw him in the mirror in his package earlier, has a body. Which is like, that's some quiet confidence.
Yes.
Meekness is not weakness. It is power under control.
100%.
And this guy has it. He even said at one point, he's like, she's the type of girl I would walk up to at a bar. Like, half these chosh fobs aren't the type of guy to approach someone at a bar.
Yep.
Definitely not the guy with the weird sunken beady eyes like we talked about.
Now, these guys are DM sluts.
Yeah.
These guys are DM sluts.
That's the problem. They don't know how intimacy anymore, you fucking young
Right. You got to
guys.
go to a watering hole. You have no game. You're sweating. You're talking about eating your tie. You're asking other guys to feel your neck. It's very weird. Do less Adderall. So we got a little pickup hockey game, and then we get to the ball pit. Trey is she hops in the ball pit with Trey. I think he's just such a good dude, but again, he's just not. He's not attractive
Trey,
enough
no
for
way.
this show.
I want to say this, though. A real pitiful example of The Bachelor trying to do another play with, look at her all into all those balls. Like, let the puns just happen.
Sure.
Sickening.
Sex positive.
Don't force puns, idiots. Because I force them.
Yes.
Are you okay? Mm-hmm. So Justin is up next. I think he's the painter.
Yeah.
He shows her a beautiful painting, but a creepy one at that. He says there's a void in the middle. I have a void in my heart, too.
Well,
hey, pal, you're freaking her out.
Well, he gives her a choice. He says, this third grader level painting I'm making for
Oh,
you.
stop it, Pat.
Come on. If you give me the first kiss, I'll finish it.
Well, he does get the first kiss, and it is anticlimactic. Can we move on?
Yeah, the first impression rose gets sat down on the table. And it's that bald bastard that works behind the scenes. We've seen him time and time again.
Right.
He drives the truck.
But I'm still talking about the artist.
Yeah.
If he is any good, and that rendering was anywhere near what his art actually looks like at this moment,
Yeah.
If you're listening, go drive yourself to urgent care immediately. That hearts aren't actually heart shaped like that,
Yeah.
and there's a hole in yours. So
Right.
please go get help.
Huge problem. I actually don't know how he's standing and kissing.
But the fact that he's soldiering on, maybe he is here for
Yeah,
the
he's
right
got a lot
reasons.
of toughness. So, yes, Justin Long gets the first impression rose. The real estate agent. Oh, excuse me. No. We got a little bit.
Yeah.
The first impression rose gets dropped.
Yes.
That's when the real estate agent lets everyone know that this is when stuff gets real.
Yeah.
I love that guy that really bites into the process.
Thank you, master of the obvious.
Right, yeah.
Or whatever that means.
Thank you so much. You're the loser that the producers are going to drag around like a dog on one of those crude vet collars.
Well, Harris isn't here.
Right.
Harrison isn't here. We need someone to kind of let us know where we are.
Sure. So we now must get to Jeff, who takes Katie into his van. Great move. He says, I promise I'm not going to drug you and rape you while I'm eating celery. The guy knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, he does.
Akin to saying I'm not a creep. That is like Exhibit A. You are going to drug and rape someone, saying you're not going to.
It's so not a given already. Don't bring it up.
Hey, anybody sits me down and asks if I'd like some tea while sitting in a busted out RV with a broken front headlight, they probably wear people's skin.
Right, exactly. And tea with no ice at that. You know, he cracked a can of Arizona and just dumped it into two plastic cups that look like they're glass, but they're not glass.
And there is a right way to do this. I mean, Dean has a van converted into an absolute
Deanie
fuck
baby.
shack.
Dean is hot though.
He has an absolute fuck shack, though. If this guy could clean himself up, slick his hair back, and not care, and do a little bit better, but he's in a time capsule from 1988.
Oh, no. He likes looking like a creep.
All right, so we get two dudes fighting for some reason.
Yep. Don't know.
Let's get to the present. James, again, not hot enough for the payoff. He's got a waxy hairdo and eyebrows that are plucked. Yeah, I mean, this guy is just... how could you look anything other than like this with the gag that you pulled? He's in like a weird 15-piece suit. His hair probably feels like you could crack like fucking glass. Just so gross.
I thought he looked like a weird hybrid of Will Forte and Bradley Cooper from Wedding Crashers specifically.
Okay, so the cat guy is somehow killing it. This doesn't make any fucking sense. They're hammering each other in the face. She's really, really loving this dude. You can like cats, but still not want to fuck a grown adult who came in a cat costume. I just don't understand what's going on.
Well, doesn't he do lay some bullshit on her too? He says that like coming into this building, she's been so nice and real, and not hurtful to other people.
Right.
And I recalled the memory is like, didn't she get in trouble for calling a girl a slut on her last season?
No. She was the anti-bullying advocate.
Right. But wasn't she a bully as well, though?
No. She was an anti-bullying advocate.
But wasn't she a mean girl?
Hell hath no fury like anti-bullying advocates on Twitter.
I think she came off pretty mean in her season.
No, she was the anti-bullying advocate. I think she was a sweetheart, actually.
She just made people who bully feel less than and to the point where they want to kill themselves.
Yeah.
She wasn't a bully, Pat.
How did you not get this?
She was anti-bully.
So the guy with the dog named Tommy is up next, putting the pieces together. She's a huge cat person. Speaking of, we moved into a new place this week. Our cat disappeared this morning for many, many hours. She might be gone for good. Go to another podcast show to find out what happened next. It was a nightmare of a morning. Was that a good tease? I don't think it was.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear what happened.
I think it was semi-evil tease.
Yeah.
Do you think it was fucked up?
We
found the cat, too, so I think karmically it's fucked up.
Dylan, don't give away the ending. You had that tease. I was like ready to listen. Now that I know the cat's fine, why do I need to go?
Well, there's more to the story, but go to another podcast show. Just search it on Apple Podcasts. It's a terrible tease. I apologize. So,
spoiler alert, it's an ad for Apple tags.
This dude is Joe Latrulio from Burning Love. If you haven't seen it, he's the guy that shows up with a picture of his child on his shirt. He's the I have a kid at home dad who FaceTimes him every day. What are you doing here, dude? You're not going to win. You're not hot enough to sell Herbalife on your Instagram, and you have a child at home. There's no reason for you to be here at all.
And children these days, because they're seeing the rest of the world, and people that are having kids usually are giving them a wonderful life. This child will remember that you dumped him for 3 months to go film some stupid TV show.
Yeah.
He's going to get a book out of this, and it's going to be all about how horrible a dad you were.
Yes.
Trust you, me.
Pat, we're kind of on the same page, but I feel like I'm one step ahead of you. How old is this kid? Probably 17. 8 years old.
Oh, sorry.
We'll reach out to this kid.
Oh, get him.
Get him on the pod. See what he has. See what 30-year-old fucking Aaron
I would love to talk to a child.
Yeah. See what he has to say about this whole show. I would love to get his thoughts on Chris Harrison leaving. See what this kid says.
The kid probably talks about he would have negotiated up. He was Harrison.
And I'm sure he's a pretty tough get, to be honest. But if he is smart, he's making his own content recapping The Bachelor.
Right.
That's YouTube gold. An 8-year-old recapping his dad on this show.
It's kind of like 3 white guys talking about it. So anyways, the first impression, Rose, gets handed to Greg. Good God, is this guy Justin Long? He's doing such a great job tonight. I mean, he stamped his ticket for the final.
Well, a lot of people have got that first impression, Rose, Dylan. They kind of trick you. They can fall in the background.
I'd love to see the stats on that.
They're not in Pat's favor.
They are.
Unless you're Matt James, when you give the first impression rose to a deaf girl, and then you find out that she's deaf, and you go, ooh. And that's not me. That's Matt James, who is a pure, unadulterated piece of shit.
See what he did to his father on national TV?
Hey, he's the Chris Hansen of childhood trauma.
That was some ugly stuff.
We said it so many times. So let's get to the rose ceremony. Pat, you poor fuck. It's time for the first one of the season. Pat, let me get a roll call. Who is staying?
Dylan, I hate to disappoint both you and Nikki because I know that you guys depend on me to end
the
the show.
entire audience.
Right. You do. You really do. I have a confession to make. I fell asleep, kind of. My eyes were open, so I was unable to put together this. But I'd also say, for the audience and for their perception of me as a classy podcaster, generally in the roll call, I say pretty mean things about the contestants, albeit true. For me to roll through these gentlemen's names once again and then just shit all over them.
Do you have this excuse written up, or you just kind of?
I'm
is it
riffing.
Just top of
It's
mind?
good though. It's
Okay,
pretty
yeah,
solid.
yeah.
So I am going to.
It's horse shit, but
forego
right.
my first because I want to get to know them better,
Right.
so I can really dig in on them next.
Okay,
week.
you better not have a roll call for the first episode of next season, because it'll be too much.
It's too much, Dylan. You don't feel like I've attacked them enough? Although I will say I do have one last moment. It's more of a overall thought on all the guys. Hit it, Nikki.
I hate this so much.
Nikki,
we're
are
doing
you
the
ready?
first episode. We're doing this.
Nikki, are you
So
ready?
I'm not.
Stupid.
I don't think I can
Try
do
it.
Iggy pussy.
Turn the music off. Turn it off.
I think I try again.
Turn it off.
no, you don't.
Pat.
No, come on.
All right, so a bunch of guys stay, and I'll figure out who they are, and I plan on really letting them have it next week. Who goes home, Dilly?
People
Rape
at home
and
aren't gonna
Jeff
get it.
and My Chemical Romance goes
Only
home.
2 guys went home?
I think more, but we have performed a dereliction of duty this evening, but it's been a long episode at that. So, guys, thanks for listening to the first episode. It'll get better throughout the season. The first episode is always a bit of a doozy. Guys, go to magicmind.co, enter in promo code Bachelor for how many % off?
And we have to record an ad, Pat.
Okay.
How many percent off?
25.
25%
25% off Magic Mind?
Holy smokes. Go to magicmind.co if you want
Promo-
clean, consistent energy. Use promo code Bachelor.
No.
Also, what is it?
Promo code Katie.
Oh, promo code Katie.
Bachelor wasn't working. We're switching it up.
Use
Promo code
Katie.
And it's spelled regularly.
Go to Another Podcast show if you want to hear us talk about, Roy Cohn and fast food reviews and, Chet Hanks. Anything, that's top of mind if you don't want to hear us talk about The Bachelor. Also, patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. You'll get tons of video. You'll get Juan Pablo's
3
entire
weeks
season
of continuous our voices for 3 weeks. I did the math on how many shows we've done over the last year. There
It's a
is
lot
3
of content
weeks.
there.
So if you want to hear us more, please give us $5. I want to hit 1,000 by the end of June.
And then, Pat, tell them about the iTunes ratings and reviews.
Oh, go over and give us 5 stars. If you hated this and then you're trying to scramble to find out where, find us on that iTunes to give us 1 star, go fuck yourself.
Okay, great. So we'll be back next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.